Hey folks, I'm Trget and this is Hawken. So the closed beta has started, but luckily the NDA's been lifted, so that's why I can bring you this. And I thought I'd take a quick look at the game. Now I was in the previous version, briefly. I didn't get that much time to play. I don't actually even remember if I actually played a game. I remember I loaded it up and had a look through the mechs and I might have joined a game, but I'm not entirely sure. But let's get started with this. So, unfortunately I can't bring you any gameplay because the actual servers don't go up till Noon PDT, which for me is 7 PM in the evening, and well, I've just gotten up. So if I sound a little bit not there, that's probably because I'm not entirely awake yet. But I'm gonna hop in here. There's plenty of stuff in the settings section. You can do your standard thing, adjust your field of view, configure things like have your map rotate, or your radar in this case rotate, mouse smoothing. Where did that come from? Mouse smoothing is in and turned on by default, so I'm gonna turn that off. Though I think that does give an idea of what the mech moves like if you look at that, but I'm not entirely sure if that does, so I'm just going to turn that off. You can invert your mouse or turn, just mouse sensitivity. There is cockpit lag, camera animation scale, so a lot of settings. Keys appear to be completely rebindable, which is always a nice thing. The video section looks a bit more sparse. Now there are complaints. Wow, my talking ability is not yet there. Well, as I said, I'm waking up, so apologies for that. But as you can see, there is the video settings section is kind of sparse, and there are some complaints on the forums that they have taken out a lot of the options that they had in the alpha. As far as I can remember, they did have more settings, but I can't remember what they were or how much there was. But as normal, I'm playing on 1280 by 720p. Now I could probably up that to 1080, but it becomes a pain because at the moment I'm still suffering slightly on hard drive space because of a failed drive I had earlier. So any excess room I get is always good, but as the settings you have are reasonable. You can modify texture detail and graphics quality, and this is only the closed beta, so that's not too bad. It's a lot of, you really want this in a release product, that you can modify your settings quite a good bit, because this is a PC game, and well, PCs vary in capabilities, unlike say running it on an Xbox where you know exactly what the capabilities of the device are. But the settings you have are at least nice, so you can alter physics, motion blur, your depth of field, as well as your post-processing and your anisotropy settings, as well as there are a reasonable amount of audio settings. Now it shouldn't be too loud because I've turned down the master volume quite a lot, but you can hear the game in the background. Now the only other section is that there's a friends section, which I don't have anybody in, and a messages section, which I won't have anything either, because as I said, I literally loaded this up in the last 20 minutes. So let's have a look at the garage. Now the way the garage works is, well, it's changed from the closed alpha, but there are more mechs. I'm not sure why there was a buy button in the garage on an empty slot, but you can see you can buy mechs. So there's the Berserker, the Infiltrator, the Assault, which is the one you start with, the Sharpshooter, and they'll have weapons. I'm going to hop back to my mech. Now one of the mechs I do have is the Infiltrator, but I have it on test drive, which means that I can use it for I don't know how long. Still, it says 30 down there. That might be 30 minutes or 30 days, I'm not entirely sure. But you can then hop into, oh no, you have to purchase the Infiltrator, using either Hawken points or meteor points. Now, I assume you earn meteor points by playing the game and Hawken points by spending real money. So that's your free-to-play currency of the game. But I'll hop in the garage to modify the assault because there are quite a lot of weapons. So you have the machine stats, or the weapon stats, which at the moment are still without any kind of meaningful numbers next to it. The same for your shields and everything. So you can rename your mechs, which is what I assume you do when you buy multiple of the same variant. And then you can buy items for the mech, so you can see there that the detonator costs 1,550 Hawken points or 175 meteor points. And that's where the free-to-play comes in, that you're essentially paying for time. However, I'm not entirely sure of that because I haven't played the game yet, and I don't remember how it went in the closed alpha, or even how much I did in the closed alpha. But you can see you can upgrade to a machine gun turret or a rocket turret, so there are plenty of items. The same with a defensive item. You have a repair charge, shields, holograms, as well as a functional item. So an EMP that is dangerous in close combat because it shuts down mechs. Same with the radar scrambler, which is probably better if you're an infiltrator. Then you can go to upgrades for the mech, which you use overflow XP for, I assume, as well as your optimizations, which means you can essentially stat your mech to either be offensive or defensive, and you get bonuses for those. So increased weapon damage, which is a 33.33% weapon damage gain. It isn't that significant, but it means in a straight up fight against someone that's not doing, or that hasn't spec the way you are, it won't. So you can do that, and you need to spend some experience in the basic level to get access to the next level. So if I spend one, it's not enough to get to the next level. There was in the alpha option to respec the tree. Now I don't know if that's going to stay in or if that might cost you meteor points to do, and then you can actually move on from the optimizations menu, which is your skill tree, to the body shop. And the body shop's quite interesting because it means you can modify your chassis. So instead of the rookie chassis, you can swap to the Civ chassis, which is 220 meteor points, which it doesn't seem to be that expensive. However, I assume the 4,800 starting points are raised slightly for the closed beta. You can do the same with legs, with the lower legs and the middle chassis, which would be your upper legs, which is quite nice, as well as the strut arms, so you can swap between the style of arms. So your mech is quite fully customizable, as well as thruster nozzles, which that's kind of cool. So your thruster default has a lot of smoke. You can swap to blue, which is less smoke, or light blue, which doesn't have that much, or a bright red, which has slightly less smoke. At least yeah. So that varies the amount of smoke coming out the back. Now I'm not sure if that's going to mean much in gameplay, but you can also modify the trim of your vehicle, which is nice because this is a free customization, as I can see. So you can see I have my bright red trim there on the mech, or you could swap to a camouflage pattern. So there are swamp pools and night pools. Well, this is all pretty cool. I look forward to actually playing the game. Oh, and before I forget, there's a stat. Well, you can actually check the stats of your career and of your individual mechs. Now, as you can see, my mech mastery is at 500, which I've no idea what that means. Hopefully I'll know some more once I play a couple of games of this. but then you also have the profile, which you can see features, well, a lot of information. It tells you your Hawken points, experience points, time played. So it seems that you'll gain Hawken points from playing in the game, and the Meteor points are through the store, not as I said earlier in the video. So apologies for that, but I'm still not entirely sure which goes which way. Then you also get your stats, so your multi-kills, best multi-kill, revenge kills, kill streaks, savior kills, avenger kills, your KD ratio, assists, total kills, how many times you've won and lost. So Hawken is looking up to be a pretty decent game, and I look forward to playing it a bit. So I'm gonna just poke in the matchmaking again, because well, servers aren't up for another almost 10-11 hours from where I'm looking at it. So I hope you've enjoyed this informative review. Stick around, because there will be a second video up later once I've actually played some of the game, and that'll give you a better idea of what's happening in there. So thank you for joining me, folks. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.